We have a trade to announce this evening. The Rangers have traded disgruntled defenseman Nils Lundkvist. We'll discuss the deal coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. We have some activity just days away before NHL training camp starts. Of course, we've been aware and we've been reporting on for some time, last couple of weeks here, that Nils Lundkvist was unhappy with his role with the New York Rangers and had requested a trade. And then in the last few days, we found out that he had intended on not even reporting the training camp. He's going to sit out until a trade came to be. Well, that won't have to be the case. He'll be able to make it to training camp on time, and he found himself a new home. Chris Drury and the Rangers have sent Nils Lundkvist over to the Dallas Stars, so he'll join a pretty decent blue line there already. But we know that they've been looking for a right-handed blue liner down there since losing John Klingberg via free agency. Of course, they really couldn't compete with the kind of money Klingberg was looking for after tying up a lot of their other blue liners in long-term lucrative deals like Heiskanen and Lindell, etc. So it just didn't make sense for them to keep Klingberg, but obviously Lundkvist, much younger, much cheaper, at least for the time being, on a controlled contract. He'll join a young defenseman like Thomas Harley. Like I said, Heiskanen's still pretty young. They got Suter back there. Hakanpää. Pretty good looking blue line, really, overall pretty strong, and he should be able to ease in back there. Probably won't see much in the way like power play time, maybe a little bit on power play 2 or something. But the return package for Lundkvist going to New York is a conditional first round pick in the 2023 NHL draft, but it is the conditions that it's top 10 protected. So if it's a top 10 pick, it will roll over to the following 2024 draft. And I believe there's also a conditional 4th round pick in there as well. So ultimately, this is a really good return for the Rangers. I mean, Nils Lundkvist was drafted as a first rounder, so they certainly, he was viewed upon as being a very talented kid at the time. Still kind of is, but he did struggle. Last year's first pro season in North America wasn't the greatest, and certainly the case where he kind of slipped a little bit on the Rangers depth chart. They went and brought in more of a guy like Braden Schneider, who's kind of thrived more of the role and kind of fit more of the description they wanted in that kind of spot in their defense lineup. So it kind of made sense that he was kind of boxed out of a spot here, and they have a lot of other defensemen too that are up and coming that he's kind of competing with. So I completely understood his point of view, why he wanted a trade. It just wasn't looking good that he was going to be able to see any kind of elevated role or really work his way even into a regular top 6 spot with so many Rangers signed long term. Trouba, Fox, Ryan Lindgren's there, Miller, Schneider, all these guys ahead of him. It just wasn't going to work out, right? So ultimately he can go to Dallas now and he should have a much bigger opportunity. I do think this deal does pose some risk, though, for Dallas. I mean, to give up the first round pick is always a little bit of a risky move. I mean, it does kind of deplete what they have at their fingertips as well for any deadline acquisitions later in the season. We know the Dallas Stars, I think it's fair to say, they are trying to be in win now mode, so to speak. They do have some good players that are getting up there in years, and they're really trying to keep their competitive window progressing here and mixing in some youth, which is good. But I don't know, we'll see what happens, but there's certainly a better price than I thought the Rangers were going to get. It had been rumored that it was maybe a young up-and-coming center who could maybe benefit from a fresh start. Might be somebody that the Rangers were interested in. I thought when I first seen the deal, it took about 20-30 minutes for the full everything to kind of come public on what the actual full deal was. I thought maybe Ty Dellandrea might be the player going back to New York, but no, they get the first rounder instead, which to me, for the Rangers, is a better deal. So let me know your thoughts on this trade down in the comments. We'll discuss further. Of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with the latest news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.